kid.
So I would just like to officially welcome everybody to the Spooner Railroad Park for the very first time. So welcome. My name is Michelle Martin. I'm the Executive Director of Washburn County Tourism. It's truly an exciting day for Spooner today, and really the entire area. I've personally sat on the Spooner Railroad Park Board for several years now. There's been a lot of planning that has gone into this park. There's going to be a lot more planning that goes into this park, but we're all looking forward to it. It's very exciting. Our goal, we've talked a lot about what is our goal for this park. Our goal has been to preserve Spooner's rich railroad history and offer a place for community members and visitors to enjoy. This is the first step to kick that off. This park offers such a great location. We're close to the Wisconsin Canoe Heritage Museum, the Railroad Memories Museum, the downtown, and the Wisconsin Great Northern Train Ride is just down the tracks. So it's really the ideal location. I really look forward to seeing what the future holds for this park and for the entire community.
As you know, Spooner's rich and colorful history was rooted in the development of the expansion of the railroad in the late 19th century and early 20th century. Everything we see here is a result of all of that in the logging industry. And a lot of people don't know that Spooner's original location was at Chandler, which is about 3 miles north of where we're standing right now. Highway H, just north of Highway H, and also known as Chandler Drive. There's an area up there which we used to call Chandler's Pit for those that have been around a long time. But that was the first settlement of Spooner. And because people at the time thought that maybe it was pretty vulnerable to forest fires, they decided to move the location to a place called Chicago Junction, which is about a mile south of where we're standing. That's where the railroad, where the rail split to go south toward Eau Claire or southwest toward the Twin Cities. After being there a while, they thought that the water was corrosive to the steam engines to the insides. So they decided to move further north, and that's where we're at today. So as we stand here today, this is about the third location that the settlement took, and that started in 1879 at Chandler, and by 1883 we were in this general location here. Fast forwarding through many years, Spooner was a very natural hub for the railroad. A lot of passenger trains and freight trains came through this city, and for many years. But then I'm going to go to when I was just a lad. My grandfather Kuski worked for the railroad in this roundhouse right here, and he was a tool and die maker. He worked on steam engines and he repaired them. And as a youngster, I can remember being here and watching him work and watching the other gentlemen in the roundhouse work. And I remember it being a very noisy place with the hammering of steel and a lot of different noises and the chug of the steam engines here and there. And then my grandfather Petrie was a engineer on the railroad. And every once in a while, Grandpa would let me get on the steam engine with him. And of course, the firemen were shoveling coal into the firebox, but I always had to help. But I'd grab a chunk of coal one at a time out of the coal car and throw it into the firebox. And of course, by the time I got home, I was covered from head to toe with coal dust, and my mother had some real fine words for my grandfather. You can imagine that. But the history of the roundhouse, the depot, and everything is very rich in Spooner. And in 2008, the city acquired the property, which we're calling the Spooner Railroad Park, from the Wisconsin Central Railroad, who acquired the property from the Chicago Northwestern Railroad, who was the original railroad here. And about 2000, year 2000, I think, is when we started negotiating with the railroad to try to purchase this property. And for years we were negotiating and couldn't come to any deal. But finally, in 2008, we were able to do it. And in 2009, we established the Railroad Park Board, which Michelle briefly touched on. And bringing us to today, this project today could not be possible without the generous donation from the Thompsons, from late Gene and Avis is here, and the family, Jerry and Scott and Terry. I've seen so many Thompsons that if I try to introduce them all, we'll be here all afternoon. But anyhow, it's the Thompsons that have supported our community over the years, and without their generous donation of these facilities to the city, this couldn't be going forward. So I'd like to thank them from the city and from the bottom of my heart for all that they have done. We've also had some other fine help along the way. I want to recognize Mr. John Gajowski and the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, as well as Drew Nussbaum and Julie Fox with the Wisconsin Department of Tourism, for all their fine help and efforts in helping us get to this point thus far. They have been invaluable with their support and help, and we are certainly appreciative for that. And let me tell you, the unsung hero in all of this, Terry Ryder. She has worked tirelessly to help us get to this point. She spearheaded the committee, the Friends of the Railroad Park, and without her efforts and expert help with all of this, none of us would be standing here today either. So with all of that, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank all of those who have helped, and I'm sure I've missed somebody, and for that I'm really sorry, but there's been a lot of people that have put in a lot of time and effort to make this day happen. So thank you all for being here, and let's move forward and preserve and restore this great historical landmark. Thank you.
When I first got involved in this project about 6 years ago, it was fantastic to realize that the city of Spooner started because of the railroad. It was the Colonel Spooner who named this town. It was thank you. It was the city that was created by the railroad. And the options are endless, but we stand right here. How many communities can say that the birthplace of your city, of all of your history, is right here? We're standing on it. It started here in 1883, and it's gone from there. But it's still here. It's still tangible, and it's still a vital part of our communities. And on behalf of the Department of Tourism and Julie Fox, who is your Northwest Regional here, what we do is promote. We tell the world where to go, what to see, who to meet. And believe me, this is a story that we can't wait to start telling. So with all of that, I'm going to keep my comments short, but I just want to say thank you. As a community, this turnout, you've had to dodge a few raindrops today too, and walk through some wet grass. Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I got involved just this last December. I was asked if I would be interested in coming to a meeting, and then I realized that what the project needed was a local liaison that would maybe run as a quarterback to pick up the ball and keep it running. So that's what I'm here. I'm working with wonderful people. There's so many people that this has been such a special dream. It's a historically significant place. It's our history. It's what made Spooner great. And I love you people. I love Spooner. And I love the fact that Spooner was built on a railroad. We are so unique for that. So what's next? What we envision, this is to be a cultural, centrally located, historically significant, fun place for recreation, art, history. We see a plaza, we see a bandstand, we see a pavilion, we see a kiddie park with railroad theme, a merry-go-round with the railroad theme. This we hope to be an event center, and we don't know where we're going to go with it, but it depends on what comes in, and we're just going to keep our eyes and ears open. Our city people we're dedicated to preserving this building, and we're taking it to where it needs to be a safe and secure place, and then we'll see where it can go. But that's something I'm going to ask you folks. We need your help. We need volunteers, and one thing is on the back of your programs, there is a donation level that's listed, and we sure would appreciate any donations, and we especially would appreciate volunteers, and you can give me a call, and the phone number is listed. But so I do want to introduce the Railroad Park Board. These are people that have been working for a long time, and they're the planners. They're the ones that are planning and making decisions. It would be Brad Patchen, Pastor Jack Starr, John Guzjelski. I've practiced that. And
We just say John G.
John G. And we've got Sue Churchill, and in fact, Sue Churchill and her husband and her family, Jeff and Zan and Spencer, they've provided us with some really nice treats, and we thank you. We've got Michael McCone, and Michael McCone has a real artist's eye. So inside, you're going to be really excited to see a concept, an artistry concept, a huge mural on the wall that he's produced for us. So let's see, did I give it? And then we have Emeritus, the mayor, Gary Kuski is on that committee, as well as Greg Vreeland, who we do thank today for his parade train. That was so awesome that he brought it down. And then Bill Marks, our city administrator. Now the people that are on the Friends of the Railroad Park, that's the nonprofit part of this. We're a subcommittee of Spooner Development Corporation. So the Friends of the Railroad Park is myself and Sue Churchill as vice chair and Michael McCone. But the Spooner Development Committee, we've got Daryl Gabriel, David Masterjohn, we have Chris Thompson and Matt or Vern Thompson, whatever you call him. He's wonderful. Tim Reedy and Glenn Clayton are the folks that have been really helpful getting the nonprofit arm of this in place. So we thank you for that. We thank the Railroad Museum, our Railroad Memory Museum over here. Tim Belter has just been outstanding in the help to get this event today. He provided the pictures to Michael when Michael blew them up.
Here. You good? Here, Ava, get your hand on there. All right. Okay, everybody look at the cameras and smile. All right. Away we go. All right. Okay, everybody look at the cameras and smile.